Have you ever watched water spiral down the drain and just wondered, how does that happen? How can something so small become this incredible force of nature? Well, today we're going to dive deep into the secret science of whirlpools. We're talking everything from ancient sea monster myths to the mind-blowing physics that could, one day, actually power our cities. Let's get into it.
It all kicks off with something you've probably seen a million times. You pulled a plug in your sink or your tub, and as that water rushes out, it creates this perfect little vortex. That simple swirl, that's a mini whirlpool, and the basic physics behind it are the key to everything we're about to explore.
Okay, now let's just scale that up, way up. I want you to imagine a vortex so massive, so powerful, it could toss ships around like they're bath toys, with a roar that you could hear from miles. This is the world of oceanic whirlpools, nature's truly awe-inspiring giants.
So what's the secret behind that swirl, right? How does a totally calm body of water suddenly decide to spin with such incredible force? Well, it's actually simpler than you might think. And it all comes down to a clash of titans. So first things first, let's get a clear definition. A whirlpool is quite simply a body of water that's spinning really, really fast in a circle. Honestly, the best way to picture it is like an underwater tornado. It's got that same swirling motion, pulling everything towards its center and then down.
The number one ingredient you need for a whirlpool is colliding currents. I want you to think of ocean currents as these massive, powerful rivers flowing inside the ocean itself. When two of these giants, often moving in opposite directions, slam into each other, well, something's got to give. A great way to picture this is to think of two big gears in a clock. When they mesh, one turning clockwise forces the other one to spin counterclockwise, right? Water currents act in a really similar way. They can't just pass through one another, so when they collide, they're forced into that iconic, swirling vortex shape.
And hey, you can actually see this for yourself. This is a super simple experiment you can do at home. Just grab two plastic bottles, fill one up with water, and then tape them together, mouth to mouth. Flip it over, give it a little swirl to get it started, and boom! You'll create a perfect little vortex that drains from the top bottle to the bottom. It's the exact same physics, just, a lot smaller and safer.
Okay, so we know what makes them spin, but which way do they spin? You've probably heard that old story, right? That whirlpools and maybe even your toilet spin in different directions depending on what hemisphere you're in. So let's dig into the real science behind that.
This is all thanks to something called the Coriolis effect. See, as our planet rotates on its axis, it actually deflects moving objects, and that includes huge bodies of water and air. On a massive scale, we're talking hurricanes or giant whirlpools. This means that in the northern hemisphere, they spin counterclockwise, and down in the southern hemisphere, you guessed it, they spin clockwise.
But, and this is the big mythbuster right here, while the Coriolis effect is powerful enough to steer a hurricane, it has pretty much zero effect on the water in your sink. That little whirlpool, its direction is just determined by the shape of your tub and how the water started moving in the first place. It's a classic myth, but hey, now you know the real science.
All right, we've talked about the swirls in our sinks. Now, let's talk about the true giants of the ocean. These aren't just any old whirlpools, they have their own special and frankly kinda terrifying name, maelstroms.
The word maelstrom actually comes from Dutch, and it means grinding stream, which is just a perfect description. These things are the apex predators of whirlpools. They're the biggest, the most violent, and the most dangerous vortexes on the entire planet, usually formed by crazy powerful tides in narrow sea channels.
If you want to talk about pure power, look no further than the Saltstraumen in Norway. This is the world's strongest tidal current, period. 4 times a day, a truly colossal amount of water surges through this tiny strait, creating whirlpools up to 33 feet wide with currents hitting a mind-boggling 23 miles per hour. And not too far from there is the Straumen, which is maybe the most famous whirlpool in all of history. This is the one Edgar Allan Poe wrote his famous story about, a descent into the maelstrom. It's actually a whole system of whirlpools, and it's way less predictable than Saltstraumen. Currents can just appear out of nowhere, hitting speeds of 20 miles per hour, which makes it incredibly treacherous. Now let's head over to Scotland, to the Quarry of Wrekin. What's absolutely incredible about this one isn't just its power, which is enough to create 30-foot waves, it's the sound. The roar of the Quarry of Wrekin is so loud, so intense, it can be heard up to 10 miles away. I mean, can you imagine the sheer force it takes to make that much noise?
And the list of these giants just goes on and on. You've got the Old Sow Whirlpool in North America, right between Canada and the US.
and it gets its name from the crazy screeching sound it makes. And then over in Japan, the Naruto whirlpools are this spectacular tourist attraction, with tons of vortices all forming at once under a giant bridge.
So with all this talk about grinding streams and roaring waters, you can see how all those myths about sea monsters and ships swallowing holes got started. But what's the real danger? Can a whirlpool really swallow a giant ship? Let's separate the facts from the fiction. So that classic image from the old pirate movies, right? A huge ship getting sucked down into a vortex? Well, the reality is, modern ships are just too big and too powerful to be seriously threatened, even by the strongest maelstroms. The real danger is for smaller boats, kayaks, fishing boats, and, most terrifyingly, for any person who's unlucky enough to fall into the water. And you don't need a giant maelstrom for things to get deadly. Just listen to the story of Steve Fisher, a world-class kayaker. While rafting the Congo River, he got sucked into a powerful river whirlpool. Now, this is a guy in peak physical condition, an expert in his sport, and he said he barely survived, only thanks to a small air tank he was carrying. It's a serious reminder that any whirlpool can be a mortal threat.
But what happens when humans create a massive whirlpool completely by accident? Well, back in 1980, the Lake Peigneur disaster gave us a terrifying answer. An oil rig accidentally drilled into a huge salt mine deep underneath the lake. Within minutes, a vortex formed, and the entire lake started draining into the mine like a giant bathtub. This man-made whirlpool swallowed the entire oil rig, 11 barges, a 65-acre island, and parts of the shoreline. In what has to be one of history's greatest miracles, every single person escaped.
All right, that was a lot to take in. So, after all that, what are the key takeaways? Let's do a quick recap. Here are the 5 essential facts you've got to remember about the swirling science of whirlpools. First up, they are born from conflict, when 2 opposing currents collide. Number 2, the biggest and baddest of them all are called maelstroms. Third, the Earth's spin, that Coriolis effect, tells the really big ones which way to turn. Fourth, and this is important, they won't swallow an aircraft carrier, but they are incredibly dangerous for people and small boats. And finally, number 5, the undisputed champ, the world's strongest, is the Saltstromen in Norway. Now, you've got to be thinking, with all this incredible energy, can we harness it? Can we actually use it for something? Well, while tapping into the raw power of a wild maelstrom isn't really possible yet, the basic idea is already being used. Some cool new turbine designs actually create their own controlled, man-made vortex to spin a generator, providing cheap, clean power for remote communities. And that really leaves us with one last powerful question. We've seen their destructive potential, but we've also seen their scientific beauty. As we get better and better at harnessing the forces of nature, could these grinding streams, these incredible maelstroms of the sea, one day be tamed to light up our entire world?